Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. And my name is Farrukh, and I am from Pakistan. And you guys might already have seen me here or there on Michael's YouTube channel, maybe on my YouTube channel, or somewhere here or there. You might have seen me. But if not, as I said, my name is Farrukh, and I am from Pakistan. So, in this video, I would be discussing with you briefly, well, not very briefly, some of the things about my journey with this speech system. Not only my journey with this Pro90d speech system, but I would also discuss how my life was pre Pro90d, how my journey went with this Pro90d speech system, and how do I speak now. And you guys can already see how I speak now, but I'll explain more of that, okay? So, the first point, number one, I was someone who used to struggle very much with his speech, and I'm not exaggerating. The point was that saying even one single word like my name, my age, or even saying yes or no, it was a very hard thing for me. So, saying even one word was a very hard thing for me, let alone be going out and speaking to people. That was the main reason why I always have been very shy. I've never went out. I've never been very social just because I never wanted to get out. And why? That is because of my speech. I knew that if I would go out, I would struggle with my speech. So who wants to go out? So I never wanted to go out. I did not have a lot of friends. So this is how my life was. And I can remember this for as long as I can remember myself. I think I've always struggled with speech from the time I started speaking. Why it happened or how it happened isn't actually quite obvious, and it isn't important as well. It just happened. And what I have seen or what I know, it might have happened because of some sort of anxiety. And that anxiety that I had was not only related with speech and speaking, but the anxiety that I had was pretty holistic. Like, I was a very anxious person for the most part. And that just probably dabbled into my speech and speaking, and that started to made me stammer and stutter. And with that, I also developed a fear of speaking. So I think that's how it all began, and then the struggle just went on and on. As I said, saying even one word rather was a big issue for me. I used to go out. I used to be made fun of, especially at my school, and all of, most if not all of my fellows used to make fun of me. Some of my family members used to do that as well. So I used to feel quite bad, and I used to ask God that why only me, right? I used to say that my friends can speak well, my family members can speak well, most if not all of the people whom I know speak well. By speak well, I mean they don't get stuck. Why do I have to get stuck? Why do I have to stutter? And I used to feel quite bad about it, and I used to ask God why it was all happening. But I got no answer. I asked God to please fix it, but it did not get fixed. It just kept going on like that. There were a lot of unsuccessful speaking experiences that I have. Just to name a few, which you guys can relate with, I believe. One was speaking on the phone. I used to go on the phone, and the one on the other side of the phone used to be like, "Hey, hello, are you able to hear me?" And here I am, not being able to say anything at all. That also used to feel quite bad, and I had a lot of these experiences. The worst experience that I can relate to right now, although I have a lot of them, but the worst that I can actually remember right now is when one of my teachers asked me to do a speech on stage in front of the audience, and she said that if I did that, it would help me with my fear of speaking. So I also said yes, being very anxious, being very afraid, but I said yes. Let's just face it and let's see if it can remove my fear. So I was there, I went onto the stage. I can remember holding the mic in my hand and I can remember my hands shivering. And there I am, I just went onto the stage and I just came back off without saying a single word. I could remember standing there, my legs shivering, my hands shivering, the mic shivering, me sweating, and all of the students in front of me just laughing and having a fun time, and I just went off. These were the times when I also used to go to the washroom and I used to really cry very, very hard. I simply did not know what happened to me, why it is happening to me, and I somehow believe that I'm going to be struggling with this probably for the rest of my life. But at the same time, I also kept searching for stuff on the web, on the YouTube, on Google, here and there. I kept searching for stuff in hope that I might find something. That I can find something which can help me with my speech. And to be very honest with you, I did find certain speech programs. I used to see some results, I used to see myself improving, but guess what? After a while, I used to slip back. I used to see something and I used to slip back. It just kept happening for whatever I searched on YouTube, and to be honest with you, nothing was actually working. Almost nothing was actually working up until I discovered the Pro90d speech system. I discovered Michael on YouTube, and the first few videos that I watched of him, it really just blew my mind, and I was quite excited and at the same time quite amazed to see the approach of the system. I was quite happy in a sense to first of all know that stuttering or stammering is a habit. It's not a disease, it's just a habit that we have developed over a period of time. Not only that I learned from those YouTube videos where Michael explained how this system is based on neuroscience, neuroplasticity, and neural development. I really got to know, I researched, and I got to know that this system is based on science. This system is based on habit development. That really made me very much excited. And believe it or not, the most unique thing about the system was the fact that it was focusing on something else. The rest of the systems which I found, most if not all of them, were focusing on how to help you not get stuck, on how to help you remove stuttering, on how to help you remove stammering. So that was pretty much a negative goal in itself, and that was what was really creating the issue. But when I learned that this system focuses on making you a smooth, excellent, and amazing speaker, that is even far above the average person. Yes, you heard me right. That is even far above the average person. So you not only get to a place where you stop stuttering and stammering, but you become an excellent, amazing speaker who can influence others by his or her speech, who is seen as an amazing, outstanding, and an excellent speaker. So when I first heard this, I wasn't sure if something like that can happen because I just came from a place having to really struggle with my speech, and I wanted to just remove stammering, stuttering. And when I got to know that, oh, you can become an excellent, amazing speaker? I wasn't quite sure if that can happen, but that certainly did feel quite exciting to me. And I felt like if something like that could happen to me, it seems unreal, but let's see. That really made me get into this system. Not only that, one more thing, modeling. That is the basis and foundation of this system, and about which I learned in the YouTube videos how this system, or how the basis and foundation of this system, as I said, is based on modeling. Modeling is something that, if you guys don't know, you would be really able to learn it inside the system or from the YouTube videos that Mr. Michael has. In brief, it is basically just getting out of yourself and modeling someone else, or in particular, being someone else while you're speaking. It is a game changer. It just changes the way you speak, and it works like magic. It is just simply amazing. So those were the main reasons why I got into this system. I researched, I just came to know that this system is based on habit development. This system is based on science. I saw all the reviews and everything where this system helped out all of the clients not only to improve their speech, but to help them become excellent and amazing speakers. So I for sure had to get into this system, and I did. I did. And believe it or not, that was certainly the best decision of my life to get into this. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing like magic. It's not that you would get into the system and you would just sit back and your speech would improve on its own. You have to do the work. You have to do all the physical speaking related work, that is the practice. Then you have to do all the mental related work that is inside the system. You have to do the modeling, visualizations, verbalizations, working on the speaking skills that excellent speakers use, that we train inside the system. You have to work on that. You have to just keep working with the whole system. And you not only just have to do it, or you just have to practice it by yourself, you have to do it. You have to be watching the content, watching the videos, listening to the audios, then practicing on your own. But then obviously you also have to go out and use all of that in the real life situations. You have to just keep doing that. Moreover, the more you do that, the more you keep doing that, the neurons in your brain keep firing together until they wire together. And you develop this new habit of speaking that, guess what, replaces that old habit. So if you were focusing on removing that old habit, you would always remain stuck. But if you focus on another habit that replaces it, and this new habit has not only replaced the old way where you're not stuttering or stammering, but it has made you an amazing, excellent speaker whom people look up to. Does that sound interesting? Does that sound amazing? I know many of you might be saying that, is it something which is really possible? So yes, it is. It's not only me who is saying that. A lot of clients have experienced it. Mr. Michael experienced it for himself. Then he has trained a lot of clients over the past few years. So there is research behind it. There is scientific proof behind it. There are a lot of reviews behind it of the clients who have got into the system and become amazing and excellent speakers. So if I were to look back, I think stuttering or stammering was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because guess what? If I wouldn't have struggled with my speech, who knows? I might be at a place where I was not getting stuck, but I would have been a pretty average, or I might even have been a below average speaker. Who knows? Right? Maybe I would have been very shy, and speaking would have been a weakness of mine. Who knows? But since I had to struggle with it, I got into the system. I would never have found the system if I never struggled with my speech. So I'm very happy that I had to face this issue. I got into the system, and now I have transformed it to a place that is much better than it would have been if I have never struggled with it. Because I would have been a pretty average and a pretty ordinary speaker. Now I am someone whom people look up to as a speaker. I enjoy speaking. I want to go out. I want to speak more. I have much better mental health. So this is all what you get. Your mental health improves, your social life, your finances. Your finances. So there is a very small amount of investment that you make, and you get a lot of return. You get many times more the return. So that is something which is just wonderful. And some of you guys might be wondering that why do we have to pay? The reason is that if, in fact, I would explain it for myself. If I wouldn't have paid for it, I don't think it would have worked for me. Because when you have paid for something, you are more serious about it. You stick to it. You keep doing the work regardless of failing this or that. You keep doing your work. And if you would not have paid for something, then I don't think something would really work for you. So you have to pay, but there is only a very small amount of money that you can just pay to get your life back, to get all your goals, to get whatever you have been wanting to get and achieve. Now that is certainly something which is very amazing. That I'm experiencing, that a lot of clients who have been into this system are experiencing, and more would just keep experiencing all of these benefits. And if we wouldn't have to just pay something to Mr. Michael, then guess what? He would have to do something else as well. He would have to earn a living for himself from doing something else. And if he were doing that, most of his time would have spent in that work or in that case, and he wouldn't have much time to help out the people with their speech. So this is what he does for a living, and this is something which he is very passionate about, and he has helped us. He is helping many of his clients right now, and he would just continue to do so. One more thing, interesting thing at the end, I'm also very passionate about it. Just like Mr. Michael, I also want to be a speech coach, and quite amazingly, these days I am training with Michael to be a one-on-one speech coach, a one-on-one Pro90d speech coach. So not only Mr. Michael, now I can also work with you one-on-one with your speech. I can also help you accelerate your progress towards smooth speech and towards smooth speaking. Right? That is also something which I always wanted to do, especially because I have struggled with my speech myself. I know how it feels. I know the pain, and I don't want just anybody else to feel that pain or to face what I face. So I know where you are right now, and I can help you with your speech and just help you take your speech towards the next. So there are basically two options for you. One is that you get started with the self-study. That is almost the best starting point for most of the clients. Then, if you want to accelerate your progress, then you would want to consider one-on-one coaching, because when someone is working on their own, first off, they are pretty much inconsistent for the most part. Whenever they start to fail or whenever they start to have bad experiences, they start to slack off. Their hope, not their hope, basically their whole encouragement starts to go down. They are not getting enough feedback, and there is a lot of content inside the system. So sometimes they just don't know what to focus on first, then what to focus on, then what to focus on. So you get all of that in the one-on-one coaching, right? And you get the whole self-study course, and you also get a one-on-one speech coach like Mr. Michael or myself, as now I am also working, or I will also start working as a Pro90d Speech Coach. So you guys can also work with me, and we can help you with the feedback. We can help you be more accountable, and also we can help you with each and everything, right? We can see where you are right now, what you especially need to be working on, what you especially need to be focusing on right now. So we can really help you accelerate your progress towards smooth speech and towards smooth speaking. So with the one-on-one coaching, we can provide you with the feedback, the evaluation, the accountability, and the encouragement that would help you accelerate your progress much faster, as I said. So if that sounds interesting, get inside the system. But one point that I also want to mention towards the end, that it's not a pretty smooth journey. You're going to see ups and downs because you're changing a habit that you have developed for a lot of years. In a sense, you are changing your mind, you are changing your brain. So that has to take time. That does take time. But guess what? After you would develop this new habit, no matter how much time it takes, it would be very strong. It would become more strong. The more time it takes, the more stronger it becomes, and the more beneficial for you, because you have got the rest of your life to speak smoothly. What if it takes you a few months, maybe an year? Guess what? You've got the rest of your life to enjoy your smooth speech, right? So, I hope this video found you well. I hope you got encouraged, and you were really inspired by this video. I hope so. So, as I said, it's something that is worth it. I wish to see you inside the system. And thank you. Goodbye.